Hello everybody, and welcome to DACman Productions, and also welcome to Conahey Rail. We are looking at something different today. This is the Conahey Rail traditional layout. Not too many people know that Conahey Rail has a traditional layout because I don't usually share a lot of photos or pictures of it. But at any rate, the Conahey Rail has actually three layouts. The high rail layout that you guys are so used to seeing, this traditional layout, and the third one is actually an 027 layout. I've decided to, since the train shows were all shut down and stuff like that, probably for even the rest of this year, that I would bring a little bit of the train show to Conahey Rail. And one of the displays I really liked was the Lionel Trains display, which I've seen at the world's greatest the world's greatest hobby show a couple of years, and pretty much looked like this. And here's a picture of one here. So as you see, the Lionel Trains displays use pretty much the same orange and blue colors. So that's what I decided to do. I did a makeover on the Conahey Rail traditional layout, and I ended up using the same orange and blue colors. There were two colors that I used on this. I actually took that Lionel sign that's in the middle there, that one right there, to Home Depot, and matched the colors up using that sign. For those who are interested, the orange is actually Inferno Orange, and the blue is called Extra Navy Blue. So those were the colors that were closest, if not right on, with the Lionel colors of that sign. And I'm panning around so you guys can see the layout here. So I went ahead and painted the Lionel orange and blue, and for me it brings a little bit of the train show into my basement. And not only that, it pretty much, you know, reminds me of the Lionel train displays that I'm so used to seeing at the train shows, such as the world's greatest hobby. The layout itself is all MPC. These are all trains that I had when I was a kid, and so I wanted a different, another display or a different display, a different layout for these trains, and I didn't want to mix them with the Lionel high rail layout that I have. And so I ended up building this, and the upper level is actually a figure 8, which you can see right here. And then there's the figure 8 upper level. And the train itself that I run up there was one of the last trains that I bought. I believe it was in 1988 or 87, sometime in there. And it features smoke, and that's back when the sound for steam locomotives was actually a rock tumbler in the tender, so it was kind of a neat set. But was one of the last Lionel trains that I bought for myself back in the 80s before getting out of the hobby, and then later on getting back into O-Gauge in 2015. Here I wanted to showcase a couple of animated cars, being as how I wanted to replicate a Lionel dealer display. I figured I would put animated items on top of the layout, sort of like to demo them. And so I would think or figured that if Lionel was to do an MPC era layout back in the day, that this is something they probably would have done. So we have a barrel operating car. We have the operating mail car. We have the operating milk car. And we have the operating ice car. And for those of you who are in the post-war, yes, these are replicas of post-war trains. These are not post-war. These are actually MPC reruns or replicas, or however you want to say that. So the buildings are Lionel kits that you see here. These are buildings that I built as a kid and put them together and saved aside. A little bit of mending was needed, but when I finally got them back out. And here we have another fun piece, which is the generator car. And once again, that's an MPC replica. That is not a post-war piece. So MPC reissued or reproduced a lot of the post-war trains that were so popular. One of my favorite pieces was this diesel horn shed. For kids like me back in the 80s and late 70s, when most of our trains didn't have horns, so this shed was a cool addition to make the sound as the diesel engine would pass by. They also made a steam version as well. I figured that if this was a real Lionel dealer display, there would be controls out here to be easily reached to operate different things, and that's what I did. And I marked it. You know, this is the milk, and then we have over here the log car, and then we have over here the controller for the ice car. I also figured that Lionel, if they had a display at that time, they would probably have a trolley line running as well to show off their trolley. And so that's a actual Lionel trolley station or station behind the trolley. That's a Lionel MPC era track maintenance car. That was just post-war gang car that was made during the Lionel MPC era as a track maintenance car. One of the most fun things that I've done on my layout was to add this Dead Man's Curve sign. Actually replicated off of the Addams Family movie when Gomez decides to run his trains during that movie and ends up crashing in the end. Here we see a higher view of the layout, and you can see that it's all tubular track, all traditional, and I really liked how the Lionel display came out. So just imagine, if you will, coming to a train show or even a hobby shop, and you're coming down here to coming inside to see the displays, and you run into this Lionel layout, and just imagine that it's an actual representation of a Lionel layout.